Hi, welcome to Osipow Installation Art. Josh, Emma, and Amanda have created something that you may experience on your own. When you sit in the middle of this piece of artwork, you get a sense of color, of movement, and of space that is very different than simply looking at a picture. What is even more special about it is it's their creation. It was something that they did to show Mr. Rivera what they thought about this very simple project and what they could do with it, which is what makes Osipow's art program so special.
Hi, I'm Mr. Rivera. I'm the high school art teacher. This is 4 students from my multimedia period B class. Josh Thermer, Amanda Taylor, Lauren Osipow, and Emma Saxe. We're missing one student, Ryan Diller, but other than that, we're here, and we're here to discuss this piece of art that they've created. So just in terms of, what was the project supposed to be?
Well, basically, beginning of the year was our first project in the class, and you told us for the class we were going to get in groups. You showed us a video about different art forms. This artist who takes different types of art and makes a video about it, basically, and you said that we should do that, and we should take an art form and just fill it. And we quickly decided we wanted to do installation art after doing quite a bit of research on what it was, and we came to the decision that installation art is taking miscellaneous and awesome pieces of whatever we can find and putting them together in an interior setting to change it, so that when somebody experiences it, they truly experience the artwork. And we just ran with it.
So it's really about, in a sense, altering the room and altering the space.
Yeah, exactly.
So that leads to what kind of meanings do you think are generated out of this awesome piece?
Well, we didn't really mean to, but what we created is fairly overwhelming, and when you sit in the center of it, you're kind of forced to look at yourself from all these different angles because of the positions of the mirror, all the mirrors. So you have to take a look at what you look like to other people, and it shows your self-image.
Branching on from that, some people might approach it and be a tad oblivious to what they're looking at because it's just everywhere, obviously. And we figured we'd instill some ideas for them to be like, oh, okay, now I know what I'm looking at, and then eventually they can just branch out from there.
It's an interesting piece because in general, I don't believe the public has a lot of experience with installation art. So it could be visually pleasing for some people, and that's where they stop. For some folks, I noticed that they sat there and, like you said, they were immediately self-conscious. Some people did not want to look at themselves. And then for other people, they felt they needed to read a little bit more, and they sat there. And I remember, I forget who it was, but somebody talked about the education experience. It's such a tiny little chair that you could really be looking at their personal or my personal experience as either an educator or as a student. So I thought that was an interesting meaning or reading to it as well. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, actually, when we were coming up with it, what I was really looking for was when someone sits into it, just to reflect on how small they are in everything, in the universe, in the world. You sit in there and you look, and all of a sudden there's string everywhere, there are mirrors reflecting everything, and you just realize you're minute compared to everything else. And I really think we got that with this piece of art.
Yeah, I would agree. One last thing I want to talk about is the process, because it looks like it took a lot of time to put together. And how did you come about with, just the whole idea? How did it happen?
Sure. It began first when we did the research into installation art, and we had a lot of ideas. And then Lauren actually said she had a lot of spare yarn around. So we decided, well, if she has yarn, we'll use it. And we kind of went off of that, and we decided that, well, if we have yarn, we'll use it. And so we had to connect it to something, obviously. So we came up with the idea of the pink hexagon, and Brian, the one who's not here, actually was the one who came up with the measurements, and then Josh was the one who put it together, cut the wood, put it together, and spray painted it pink. Great color choice. And then we really had to go through and we had to cut all the individual holes into the wood which there's like 21 holes on each
Each.
side. So you do the math. And so once we did that, then we had to go through and we had to make sure that the yarn would be long enough to string it from the to the ceiling and back so it would all hang the right way. So it's all the yarn is supposed to be around 22 feet long. It's give or take a little bit, but it's close. And then we came and, well, Josh, Amanda, and I, we stayed after school one day and we went through and we connected from all the yarn from the hexagon to the ceiling, and then we put the mirrors around it and we put the chair in the middle, and it just really came together.
Cool.
Yeah, setting it up took about 2.5 hours.
Of your own time.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome. I have to say, I mean, does anybody else have anything to add?
No.
In summary, then, I've said this to you guys before, but having taught at college and high school, this is probably the most impressive work of art that I've seen. It totally overwhelms the viewer, and it's exciting, and whether you can understand it or not, you are definitely drawn to it. It's certainly done a fantastic job, and it's college level work.
It's pretty overwhelming just because out of nowhere there are 5 of me, or 6 maybe. I don't know, I lose count. And then you've got the yarn, so it's all there, it's colorful, it's overwhelming really, and then you've got a really tiny little chair, so you do feel awfully small.
If you just look in like one mirror, it just seems to go on forever, and you don't just see like your front, you also see your back, so you can like see your posture and adjust your posture, which is weird. It just keeps going on forever.
Well, basically now we're taking it down. It's disappointing, sadly. It's bittersweet. We're done with the project, but we're also done with the art. In the end, we have half mile of yarn here, and we're gonna end up weaving it through the pink hexagon base that we have, which will actually be really cool. Great ending to the whole saga that has been this project. What was that?
Shall we?
Start taking it down, basically. Sad way to do it.
And because we just tucked the yarn underneath the corners of the squares, it's really easy to pull it down, which was our intention, that it wouldn't have to last forever.
You want to take some time, Rivera? It's fun.
Sure, thanks. Sorry, I was just watching. I was kind of mesmerized.
Oh, what's cool, listen, they make different noises when you pull them, because some of them are more taunt than others,
Yeah, you're right.
like an instrument or something.
That was. So now just take me down.
And now it's a classroom again.
That's beautiful. Look at that.
That's all the yarn.
It's an installation in itself.
Kind of messy.
It's kind of sad too.
It is kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of yarn.